Hi guys, I am ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is the Rise of Cornoe, and this is our new kind of peninsula of productivity. And so we are continuing our journey in the construction of this, the planning of this. I'm kind of thinking that it may be useful for us to actually have a dock somewhere where we can export our vehicles as well. So potentially somewhere over here, but it might be somewhere over there, so we can actually put some rail in there and we can load up on some vehicles and send them away. So that's something we could think about in the future. For now, though, I think the idea is while this area here continues to... while this area here continues to build up, we can plan out a little bit more of the Sisselgrad Canal district over here. And but before any of that can happen, we will in fact need some power, water, and things like that. So we do need to provide ourselves with some services. So let's pop down underground, and we can see that water and sewage shouldn't be too difficult for us to run through here. So we could basically have a little bit of a tie-off somewhere over here. If we grab a sewage connection, so we could connect sewage over here, run a little something down there. And the same with water. So we'll have a bit of a look at our levels in just a minute. I think if we go up the hill here for a little bit and then... probably not good to go up the hill. Stay down at the bottom of the hill, and then see how we run through here to provide water and sewage. Yeah, so that's one. Power should be reasonably available. I'm just contemplating. We don't really have the ability to split power off, right? So we've got power there, and we're creating this kind of power loop running through here. So we've got lots of opportunities to tie power in, but not necessarily to split it off. So I may have to go into a little bit of a tweak over here to tie in an extra piece. Now, because we've got a loop, this should not be problematic at all. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do, and let's have a look, if we are to just cut this line, right? There to there, right? And I'll go ahead and pay for the removal of that section of line. I'm thinking nothing should have issues with power. Everything should continue to have power because we've got a loop, right? Everything should continue to have power because of that loop. So it's actually quite a good way of doing it, which is why they do it in reality. But let's pause it for a second while we quickly pop a little bit of a splitter back in here. So power, we want a bit of a splitter. I guess just something like this is gonna be fine. How close can we get it? I think we can get it pretty close, right? So if we were to do that, right, I think that could work. We will go ahead and tie that one in there. We'll pop downstairs and grab our power yet again and quickly tie this one back. That one will tie in nicely over there and nicely over there. And I will go ahead and construct all of this. So we have that, basically we have that tie off ready to go. And this guy has got power. There we go. So we've got a pretty reasonable area. Now we can split power off to kind of bring it into this area. And because we've got two parts, we could potentially consider running a loop yet again. And I think I might do that. So let's quickly start off by grabbing ourselves these guys, right? So the plan is, I'm going to do it like there. We'll go to the other side. We'll do, something over here. We will do something over this way. We'll do something over here somewhere, right? I mean, that should give us ample opportunities to do the loop, right? And then similarly, we want to do some loop power on this side as well. So what we'll do, let's have a quick look at our levels. So if we run water and sewage down there, we shouldn't have too much problems with it. So we may as well do water and sewage. Our power loop over here, our power loop over here, power loop somewhere like that. We don't have any. Yeah, so let's find ourselves some additional power loop options with where we can actually tie in some power, right? Do we do it right there? With that one. Yeah, we don't have a lot of opportunities. I'd rather do more than less. And I guess on this side it feels a little bit better if we can make the tie-in work. Something like that. Something like this. Okay. So if we look at that, right, that's going to be our starting point with our power loop, right? Continue. Oh, the construction is continuing. So what I will do, right, I will go ahead and I will trim out this guy and just make sure that we're actively connecting this guy like so, and we'll tie that back in. We will do a very similar thing over here. This is a slightly different. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Okay. And so around the corner and into there and into there. That's going to be fine. We'll start off with that one. Yep, that's fine. Similarly, we will tie off this area and we will go ahead and do this, do that, do that. We'll tie that in. So now we've got the starting points of a power loop. Now the power loop can still continue through here, have 2-3 more of them over here as it continues, but I guess that is kind of the plan, right? So now if we go underground, the idea is that we will loop off this power loop off of the other power loop. Not sure how good an idea that is, but I think it is. I think it's going to be better than not doing the whole loop thing, right? So what we'll do is we'll run it up to, say, here, right? Just like that. Then we'll go drop us down a level, go underneath, and we'll tie it in over there. Similarly, we will be, I guess, we'll try and run it straight in this area here and then run it up there and run it underneath there and into kind of that area there, right? So let's do that. We'll get that all tied up. On this side, I mean, we will have the ability to tie in this way. So let's just go and tie in over here. We'll run straight through there, tie in over there. We'll run around the corner and tie in over there. We will go down and tie in like this. We'll pop up here and go around the corner, tie in like that. And we'll run straight through over here. Presumably that should be okay. We'll ultimately finish that off. But in the meantime, it's not going to be a problem for us to do this. Okay. So that's the starting point. Train is waiting too long. We'll go and have a look at this because this is presumably a bit of a problem. You're just waiting for a gap. And this guy's waiting. I think it's not a problem. I think it's not a problem at all. Once this guy is cleared out, this guy should pop in there, no problems. Yeah, I think it's going to be fine. Let's have a look at this. These guys are filling up more so than they are dropping down. So I may need to have another cluster of them somewhere. But I think for now it's okay. I think there's plenty of room for us to add some more of them. we could do, well, actually, let's make a start on a few of them. So if we go with dumps, the medium dumps is what I'm using, right? So what we'll do is we'll highlight a few more medium dumps. I don't want to mess it up, right? So we'll get a few more medium dumps in here. We're not going to tie it to anything. We're just going to grab a few more, right? Just to be facilitating a little bit more dumping area, right? So if we do that, we're going to tie this in, that in, that in, that in, and we'll do that. We will fund that. We will upgrade all of this, and we will fund the upgrade of all of that, right? We'll do the funding. You know what? We may as well continue to construct all of them and have a bit of a look at who's actually doing the dumping. So we've got a facility doing it, Sasselgrad Refinery. So we've got room for a few more. Let's pause it for a second while we quickly add them. So all the way at the bottom, exactly right. We want to make sure you're dropping off and you're effectively dropping off the mixed waste, right? The mixed waste, yeah. Up to 70%. We actually don't really mind whether it's 70% or not. But anyway, so that should hopefully mean that we're going to be able to dump a few more things. And hopefully that means they will dissipate a little bit more. This is okay. Yeah, we're winning the battle over here. So all of that's good. Now let's clear this one out, and that's good. Now, the next step of this puzzle over here is for us to start doing some things with regards to the water and the sewage. Now, one thing that we may have to do is we may have to do a new water and sewage setup on this side with the town over here. But I think for the meantime, we'll just go ahead and provide ourselves with a little bit of a thing here. Of a setup back into these connections. So let's quickly have a look if we can broadly establish whether we've got a reasonable height. 8 meters. It drops down over here. So we will have to be doing some pumping. Yeah, it drops down. So some pumping will be required as we go along. So let's just go ahead and put it in place where we want to put it in place. So we want to do the sewage merger. Sewage splitter. That's an interesting one. Is that the one? No. So let's go with that's a sewage tank. I'm after these guys. These guys are my staple, right? I'd go with them more so than not. Now this is industrial, so I'm not too sure how much it actually uses. Let's get this back in here. So we'll try and leave it at the kind of the same level. The plan is for us to run a bit of a corridor up here. These should be quite workable if we keep them to the same level. Right? And now it's going to start going down. Right? So let's just see how are we going to tie in here. Are we going to run straight through here? I think so, because we're not necessarily going to have any road networks that's connecting on through that side. So, and I don't want to necessarily clash over there. So let's go and grab a connection over here. Oh, hang on. So this was what level? 7.3. Yeah, so it's all going. Oh, actually, if we go here, we may have the height required to keep it going. Excellent. So let's do one over there, and we'll kind of end it off like that. That should be reasonably sufficient, I think. So if we were to then go and try and tie these things together, just go underground to see about that. Let's do that, right? That one should be okay. If we wanted to, you know what? Maybe we need one more in here just because the intent is for us to have a little bit of something over there. So let's tie in one more over here as well. Just in case, right? Not sure we have a lot of space here, but anyway, that's fine. Let's do that. We'll run, go underground so we can actually see what we're doing. We'll run that one in through there. It requires proper slope. Unfortunately, that is a level increase. So this is the first time where we're going to actually put a pump in place. So we will say, and I guess the 5 meter one is going to be more than sufficient. So we'll do the pump. Pump is going to work a charm. That will be okay. And on this side, the 5 meter drop from there to there is going to be just okay. No problems. I think, are we going to have to pump again? We may have to pump again to get it to go here. Oh, no, it's fine. And I guess it will be fine through there. Yes, it will be. And I guess it will be fine through this section. No problems. And I think it should be okay to tie in over, over here like so. Can we smoothen that out? We can. So there we go. So that's kind of our sewage line running through there with a single pump, which I think is pretty good going, to be honest. Now, the opposite thing is also we want to do the opposite thing by adding some water, not necessarily substations, but we do want to do the kind of water split off here also. So if we were to do, I think we do want to offset it a little bit so that it's not kind of in the way of us tying something in there, but we want to run approximately in the same corridor and at approximately the same spacing. Right, so something like that. And then we could do something like this. I'm kind of tempted to want to do something in that gap there. And we'll go with something like that over here. I'm thinking one more over here. And similarly, I may make a little bit of a gap there. Add us one of these guys to run into that general direction, and I think it should be able to tie in no problems. I'm thinking it will. Yes, I like it. Nice. Okay, now we'll do some water connections. Water is less of a problem because water is generally pressurized, so we should be okay with just kind of tying them all together. And we can, if we need any kind of water purely for industrial stuff, we could always supplement that with a little bit of a well of its own. But I kind of like the fact that we're running approximately in the same corridor to save some corridor space here. Like so. There we go. So that's approximately the same corridor. We'll continue that journey through there. So that gives us everything we need in this broad area. Right, now what we do need to also do is make sure that we tie in this guy so we can start construction. I'll go ahead and pay for that so that the construction of the rest can start. Similarly, we may want to just run may just want to start some construction activities over here as well, so that we can actually tie in some power. And what we might do is we may focus on these two, right? We might focus on this one. So let us go and grab these guys to start working on that, and we will be looking at providing a couple of spots here, and then we'll do a couple from the other side as well. So let's quickly do that. We want to provide some power distribution facilities. So I'm thinking one somewhere over here. and one somewhere over here. We'll give all of them the range that we're after, right? So in order for us to be able to build those, we will provide an access point here. This, on the other hand, is still a bit problematic. So what I will do is I'll go ahead and pay for that section and this section. Once those are in place, we should be able to commence construction over here and on a lot of other stuff as well, right? No, there's a little slither. No, this is paid for, right? I'm paying for that, right? So then we can get these guys to start working on other bits and pieces as well, right? So now this should be starting. Let's just make sure we are actively constructing these items and these items. Oh, and we will need to provide some capabilities to make a start on this. So let's not necessarily want to do. Let's do that. We'll provide ourselves a little bit of an area of work. So I'm thinking something like this and then something like that, and I'll pay for that so the construction can start on those. Right, make a start on those construction items there. And so we've got our power. Let's just get our initial power connections in. So if we go with these guys, go underground and go there, and go underground and go there, and we'll. Oh, I didn't want to pay for it. I just wanted to start it. But anyway, the rest we'll slowly make do. We'll do that. Now let's quickly look at. We're going to do a very similar thing for the. We might put it in here because I think that's going to be more appropriate. Water and sewage. So water and sewage. Let us start with the sewage tank. If I put the sewage tank there, we're picking up on everything. So I might do the sewage tank over there. And the water, not the sewage, I'm after the water substation. Go underground. There's room over here. Pop it in right there. We'll get everything that we need. So we've got all of them clustered together over here. So let us just go ahead and tie that one in and that one in, and we will go and start construction of that as well. And now we just need to extend our piping. Let's start off with the sewage pipe. It's generally the more finicky of the two. So if we were to do that, I think that is the alignment that we will go after. So go with that and tie that in. And then if we go with the water pipe, the large water pipe, this will... No. Cancel the large water pipe. We need to start from this side, bring it in here. That's approximately the same alignment. So then this entire area should have water as well. Okay, that is good. So now there's a ton of stuff that can commence construction over here. That can commence construction over here. So we should be able to kind of slowly sort that out. Let's also get the helicopters on board to do some of these things. But anyway, we can slowly continue the construction into that general area. We will have these guys. Ooh, we do need a little bit of, you know what? Let me just pay for this, pay for that, pay for that. I'm now a little worried. Hang on. If I wanted to tie this in, that's not actively going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and pay for... I'll have to build this entire thing. Let's do all of that. And then let's do all of this. And let's do all of that. And if we go underneath, yeah, all of those are being constructed. That's okay. I'm happy with the setup as is. So at least now, as we get closer to the end state, this thing will be able to jump into action straight away. Okay, good. A lot of stuff is under construction. Now, what we said we want to do in this episode, and it's taken us quite a while to get there, is to lay out a few more things. Double check quickly. Everybody seems pretty happy. Can't we get to a kindergarten? Kindergartens are pretty full, and also we're going to need some more workers. Now, workers, if we have a bit of a look at where workers can access, I guess a cluster over here is not a bad idea. I don't think we will be building residential components in that buffer zone, but this side is pretty good all around. Right, that's pretty good. So let us start by looking at what we can do to kind of tie people in this area. Now, we have a few different styles already in place here. We've got those. We're broadly speaking using this kind of style here. So let's have a look whether we can grab similar styles. And we definitely want to make sure that we're... What is this? This is the same as that, right? So it's about an 85%er. And it's looking pretty good. We've got about 220 workers in there. So that's not bad. That is not bad. This one is 93% and smaller. This is a good number. These are... Ooh, that's an 87 over there, which is the one we've built down here, the big one. And then these are 70, not interested in those. 84 is not bad. 84 is not bad because we're already using the 85. So maybe something like this. What is our size differential here? We've got a 144, 198, 270. Let's have a look at 270s. Is that the one we're using or not? This is not the one we're using. But it's very similar. I'm not a big fan of the very long setups, right? 126. What does this one look like? If we can stop the autosave and can see, that is potentially a little bit better, right? So if we were to kind of, and I don't like the fact that we don't have multiple directions, but if I'm kind of tempted to do maybe something like this, flip it around, do something like that. Maybe just the two of them, and then we'll do something in the same style but maybe smaller. So those was these, and then if we go and grab this one, which is going to be broadly speaking the same style, I'm going to try and do something like this. And now what we can do is we can maybe do something like this and something like that, which would hopefully give us a bit of an internal square here. So I think one of the most important things for us to do is to run the initial pathways through, and I think it's actually pretty reasonable for us to do it like this and like that. That's pretty good. I like that. Similarly speaking, we'll run a pathway in over here, and actually if we were to run the pathway like that, that should be okay. I'm going to hug the building and go straight across the other side over here. That's fine. And then we can start tying them together. And the idea is we do one on this side and probably we'll have to run one over there, and we'll run one over here, and that one will tie in, and that one will tie in, and this one will tie in, and that one will tie in. And the only one we're not tying in yet is this. Can we... No, we can't slither something through there. But I was hoping we can... Yeah. Let's just do... straight connection like there, so we can actually maintain a little bit of a square in here. Then give me... Okay, what I will do is let's I'm actually going to go ahead and build all of these pathways, right? Because they are so tedious to build for everybody else, and they're pretty cost effective as well. So what we'll do now is we'll get ourselves a little bit of a flaming obelisk or something, right? Let's just go back, have a look. That one gives us a pretty reasonable level of tie-in, and I think it actually works pretty well. So let's just do that one over there, and we will also pay for that construction. That gives us a little bit to go on there. Now, we don't have, so what I will do is let's quickly delete this. We'll come back and fix that again, but we will need to, at the very least, provide a little something like this, and I guess that is a pretty nice little... pretty nice little tie-in over there. It looks like it's made for that spot. And what we will do is we'll tie that one in there, we'll tie this one in there, and we'll pay for those two. I might pay for that while we also construct this one. And what I want to do is check whether everybody has access to this, right? If we go here, 56. Yeah, so this one may be a bit of a problem, but I guess it should be okay. So that should be all good. Everybody should be able to get access to that spot there. Now, we also want to have a bit of a look at something like the kindergarten. No, that's not getting any love. And the school, that's not getting any love either. So I'm thinking this side over here might be a good spot for it because it's part of our buffer zone. So if we now go in here and see, we want some facilities for these. Forget about the orphanage for now. What we're after is a bit of a school. Reasonably sized, maybe. We'll put the school... Oh, it's not... Oh, we've got heating over there. So we're missing out on heating, so we need to be a little bit more cautious about it. So let's do... I mean, water and stuff we'll figure out. Let's get it as far as we can. So I guess something like that for the school over here. And we also want some kindergarten spots. And I guess we will do... Yeah, I think we'll just do that area like so. Okay, so with those two in mind, we've got some stuff going on there. I would like us to continue the journey over here. And I want to kind of slowly tie it into... kind of hug the edge of the railway line. Right, so if we go with that... If we look at this... yeah. So let's not go up there, but then we come down here. And I'm thinking we come in there and we turn it there. And that gives us a little bit of an area there to work with. So let's pay for that. It's a little bit pricier. And the idea is we'll also run this one down here and tie it in on that side. Should be able to get access here. Should be able to get access on that side. And we'll be able to get access over there. So go ahead and pay for all of those. So the construction can commence on that. Plus we will have some spots. Now, what I am also interested in is probably running the path straight through to here. We want to make sure that we're maintaining reasonably direct pathing. Similarly, we will be running some reasonably direct pathing over there, right? And we'll go ahead, pay for those items, and we'll see about the rest of this. So again, we can build a few more things in here, but I guess that's a good starting point for us. What else would we want to put in here? A public theater, swimming pool, a zoo. A zoo is not bad because a zoo does give us the lived circus. What's the size of that? That's not bad. I think that's okay. Let's tie the live circus in there. We'll pay for the construction of the path so that the rest of the construction activities is pretty straightforward. We will run a bit of a path up here, in there, and tie it in there. We'll tie that one over there. We'll tie that one over there. We'll pay for all of that. Right, so that should give people access quite easily on that side. Continue to work with that. That's, again, another bit of a piece there. So that should give us some cultural entertainment. We want some big, kind of obviously areas where people can work as well. I guess for the time being, what we're doing over here is pretty good. Any other uses that we absolutely have to find? So where's our closest hospital? I just want to see. Hospital is here. Let's just see where hospital can get to. So we probably need an extra hospital down this way as well. So let's get ourselves our hospital for construction. Which hospital options do we have? Did we want to do something like this? It just feels so small compared to some of the other stuff we're building in here. We do a little bit bigger than that, maybe. That's a large clinic. Even that's already better, right? But I just want to make sure we're trying to maximize some different shapes and things. So, this is a fairly sizable hospital. We could make this work like there. And the one thing we do need to probably start to think about a little bit is, oh, this hasn't got heating. Okay. So yeah, we need to be a little cautious. There's some slots here where we don't have heating. So we need to be, we need to be a bit more cautious with that. So maybe the big hospital is not the best idea. I don't want to build exactly the same hospital. Maybe something like this. That doesn't actually want to work from a heating perspective. So if we go smaller, this one will work. So let's do... This one wants to work quite easily, actually. Let's flip it around so the we'll put that one over there, right? Is there anything else we wanted to do? Did we want to do another kind of police station, maybe? What else do we put in here? Actually, maybe a courthouse is a good idea as a bit of a buffer. Small courthouse, a big one. Let's see if a big one can have heating. Wow. We can't have heating. Okay, well then that means that's definitely not going to work. And maybe that's then the end of stuff we build over there. Let's have a look if we can maybe squeeze a small courthouse in there. That's the big one. Go back to this. We'll go and try the smaller one. It's interesting. Doesn't want to work. Doesn't want to work. So I guess that's the end of it, right? That's the end of what we can do in this area. And now we might use this for some other buffer stuff. So anyway, so for the time being, I think we're just going to end it there. What we may do is we may do something like this, and we'll just pay for those two so that we can actually commence the construction over there. We will also need to make sure that we are providing some accessibility there, and similarly we may want to plan out some accessibility on this side. Is there anything in here that's still needing construction? No, but we do need to obviously tie them together at some point. Okay, so that gives us a chunk of additional stuff to build in this area, and the main idea is that we've got a ton of additional workforce that we can immediately get onto this train station and to work over there. The other thing that I thought we might be interesting to do now is actually go ahead and buy some trolley buses and get them on the route. So let's have a look. If we were to want to buy trolley buses, I'm keen on buying something that's quick and carries a reasonable amount of people, and I'm guessing I'm wanting to buy about 4 of them. that we can run into different directions. So 93 kilometers an hour is available for this guy at 92, 93 at 92 passengers, and this one at 98 passengers. And I guess they're even cheaper. So what I might do is buy 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and we'll just run them into different directions. So let's go and get that route sorted. So first stop is we're going to start off with this one, and then you're going to go that way around. Get in and out. Get in and out. Get in and out. Get in and out. And that's it. Then you go back in here and you start that journey again, right? There's nothing left in there. Okay, so this one is, I don't know. Well, let's just call it Canal District Trolley. Okay, so let's open up the line. We'll name it as Canal District Trolley A, and we'll do the other one B. We'll do that, and we will say, please make a start. And what we'll also do is we'll say we'll set this to the next one as well. And we will go ahead and make a start of that one also. Now, the next guy will be starting off. No, my bad. You'll be starting off over here, and then you'll be heading in this direction, going there, going there, going there, going there, and going there. And this one will be called Canal District Trolley B. Canal District Trolley B. Not B, B. And we'll save that one, and we'll accept these changes, and we'll make a start there. And we'll copy that one to this one. And we'll say, hey, go and do that as well. So now we've got 2 trolleys running in each direction. Now, I think that should be pretty good. And the idea is really just to move people around, right? That is the plan with all of this stuff. Got construction underway quite nicely. Let's make sure that we're assigning all of this construction. And we're assigning all of that construction. And the other thing we need to make sure of is that we've got heating in this area, but we do need to have a little bit of a look at water and sewage. So water is available pretty nearby, and sewage as well. Yeah, water, I guess water should be coming in from this side. Potentially sewage is over here. Actually, maybe this, we'll see. Maybe a little cluster of stuff over here. Okay, let's just have a look, and we need to just do something in this corner because it'll cover pretty much everything, right? So if we said we want a sewage 1, we'll put 1 over here. That should cover it. And we also want a water substation, which should also go here, and it should cover it all. And that should really do the trick. So now let's tie this one in. Yeah, no problems. That's fine. And we should also tie in a little bit of water here. And we'll do it on that one there. And we will commence construction of those items. Similarly, we will provide accessibility over here so that everybody can commence construction of these activities, but we will also go ahead and tie this one in for maintenance sake. So there's another whole cluster of stuff now that can start construction over here. I'm not sure we need anything else, but what I did kind of wonder is if we pop in here ever so quickly, right? If we look at the broad population, look at our average productivity. It's really good. And our average lifespan is so good as well. Lots of unemployed workers. And our average age is pretty low, which is good. We're getting a lot of escapes, but our birth rate is super healthy. So I think all of this is really good. What I did wonder is if we should not provide an extra TV station and radio station in this area. I think that might be good for us to do. We might have a bit of a look at some of these buffer zones here where we didn't necessarily have all of the heating and stuff. Ambulances didn't arrive. All the way over here, we see ambulance issues. Got a hospital right over here. Oh, we're really short on ambulances, though. So let's maybe have a look to see if we can assign a few more ambulances to the mix. Got tons of ambulances available. Let's grab 2 or 4 ambulances here. We've got some buses. We've got lots of other construction vehicles that we could potentially start moving in. But anyway, we've got all of those vehicles ready to go. So grab me 2 ambulances. So we just up our ambulance numbers here a little bit. We should have another hospital somewhere on this side. Yeah, this is a big hospital over here. Let's add some ambulances to that one as well. Good. So hopefully that is going to do things a little bit better. Wow, look at these trees. Anyway, I like it. It kind of does a little bit of a unique thing there. Look at these. These trees are bigger than the building. Well, it looks interesting. Running that through there. All good. Secret police doing their thing. Okay, so that's all good. Right, come back to where we were in the canal district. Oh, before we look at that, did we fill these ones up? Yeah, they're pretty big and busy as well. Also just ash in all of them. I'm hoping that this means that these will slowly start to dissipate a little bit better. Yeah, the bulk of them are ash, but there seems to be a little bit of something in some of them. But yeah, it's all ash, so it should slowly just dissipate. Yeah, it's all just ash. So this should slowly disappear. So the additional 5 should help us out a little bit more, I think. Anyway. Back to reality and where we're at. Oh, the hospital here is under construction. I like it as well as the as well as that statue over there. So back to what I thought we needed to do is let's build. If we go here, we can do a radio station and a TV station. Now this is a massive TV tower, which is pretty cool actually. What does that actually do? I like it. It's nothing weird, and I think it'll add to this area, right? I mean, if we put it in the buffer zone, I mean, we can put it pretty much anywhere. It'll fit. It'll fit in a lot of these areas. I like the idea of adding it. Now we don't have any spots there. So the alternative is for us to... Oh, it doesn't clash. That's why. Put it on this side. Oh, we can actually put it right over here. On the hill would make a lot of sense. But anyway, I'm not going to necessarily go and squeeze it into somewhere. But maybe something like this, for instance, is quite useful. But this is still very close to that. So maybe, actually, the spot where we want it, something like that on the water here. And to be honest, this is not a bad setup. It does seem to want its own power connection, which is a little bit interesting and unique to me. But anyway, let's see that. I guess this is I like it. I kind of like this. So let's do that. We'll put that TV tower in there and we can start the construction. It'll be a nice little feature of our canal district over here. I like it actually. I like it a lot. And so that's the TV piece. And if we were to look at a bit of a radio option as well, maybe a smaller radio station, not the kind of big boy one. And we can actually kind of co-locate it here a little bit, right? Yeah, I think that kind of works. And then we've got a bit of a radio station there as also, right? That is cool. Okay, now with that in mind, let's quickly provide this, provide that, provide a little path up here and into there. And we'll do that. We'll do this. Okay, so that gives us a path access point this direction. I'm paying for the paths. We will tie this one in there and run it straight across over there, and we will pay for that. Similarly, we'll do this and that and pay for that one. We'll keep an eye on some of the other options here, but for the time being, that'll do. We may also just want to kind of just do a tie-in over there, pay for that, so at least we can get some construction activities fairly easily in there. We'll have construction activities over here, no problem. So at least now there's some additional employment options. And we can, this area here will provide us some further shopping areas where we can then really fill this area up with some more housing, and that area with some more housing. I guess that's kind of the intent. I think that's gonna look really cool once we added that to the skyline. Guys, I think that is sufficient for the episode. We will continue to build this, and hopefully in the next episode we'll actually start producing some stuff over here. I think I've got a nice little extra cluster of things that can be constructed over here. So we don't want to necessarily rush it. We want to see that this guy actually has sufficient capacity. So if we want to look at that, this looks okay. If we want to look at this one, it looks okay. We only have the two. Really? We only have the two options? Let's just have a look. 1, 2. Okay, so we potentially can still add an extra one in here to facilitate some more stuff in this general area. We could add another one somewhere over here and double up on some of these areas. Did this one have heating access? It did, right? And this one has heating access? It does. So really it's all good on this side. But that one is supposed to cover off some additional stuff if we need it later on. How's our little area looking over here? Yeah, I like it. It's looking good. People are being supported here. Things are happening over there. Good stuff. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.